Welcome back. This is what feeding time looks like with 2 Cane Corsos. We dedicate 1 day to prepare all of the meals. This particular batch was 140 pounds and will last about 20 days. I'm often asked how much raw food do our dogs eat. Veilo will eat 3 pounds per day. Tonka will eat 3 to 4 pounds per day, depending on his level of activity. In addition to a balanced raw diet, we will add diatomaceous earth and salmon oil when we don't have fish. We're currently out of green tripe, so they won't be getting that today. We feed Veilo twice per day. Tonka tends to do better eating once per day. Veilo is highly food motivated. Tonka not so much. Tonka is also extremely finicky. If the mix is not right, he just won't eat. Feeding raw can get messy, so I no longer feed them in their crates. Feeding in an open area like this makes cleanup a lot easier. It also gives me the opportunity to make sure there's no food aggression. I'm removing the collar so that food doesn't get on it. Remember when I mentioned Tonka is finicky? It gets even better. He doesn't like to get food on his face. So if we were to put all of his food in a bowl, he would just dump it, spread it all over the floor into separate piles, making a huge mess, and just eat it like that. Now he's waiting for my wife to come over and acknowledge him before he starts eating. Don't ask me why. It's just this weird ritual that he has. If my wife is in the kitchen and she doesn't come acknowledge him, he won't eat. See what I mean?
Good boy. Good boy. Huh? Yep. He did. Num, Papa.
Tonka just loves human interaction. Everything else is secondary to him. Veilo does an excellent job of waiting her turn. Tonka is the alpha, so we always feed him first, just to keep the hierarchy in order. Obviously, both dogs look forward to feeding time. But more importantly, a pack that eats together understands structure and boundaries, which leads to a more peaceful coexistence. These two are extremely dominant, so this daily routine is actually necessary. So he just finished 2 pounds. I think he's probably only going to eat 1 more pound, but we'll see. The large plastic container is 32 ounces or 2 pounds, and the smaller plastic container is 16 ounces or 1 pound. Tonka used to have a problem of throwing up after he would eat. This would happen pretty often, like 2 or 3 times a week. So we finally figured out that swallowing large amounts of food was causing him to throw up. So now that we control the pace and the amount of food that he swallows at one time, we don't have any more issues. We started feeding Tonka and Veilo raw dog food at 8 weeks old. Some recommend that you transition your dog from kibble to raw dog food. I don't find that necessary or a good idea. Because kibble and raw dog food are digested at different rates, you can actually cause more stomach issues by feeding them both at the same time. Obviously, every dog is different. I'll grab the wipes to clean him up and then decide if I'm going to give him another pound. You want all of it, Tonk? It's a lot of food. He's still hungry. If he was done eating, he would just walk away, so I know to keep feeding him. If you're considering feeding your dog raw, just make sure you monitor their poop. It's okay if it's a little loose at first, but it should firm up in the next few days. Gradually, you'll start to notice your dog drinking less water, pooping less, and having a lot more energy. Let me clean that face, big boy. Good boy, Papa. Good boy. Dogs are designed to handle the bacteria from raw food. We aren't, so I make sure I clean him up real good. Out, Tonk. I asked Tonka to leave and prepare to feed Veilo. He knows to stay out of the kitchen and give her space just like she did for him. Veilo is highly food motivated. She will eat everything in front of her. Stay. Break. Come on, break. As you can see, she will not start until given the command. She's come a long way. Veilo used to gulp all of her food at once. She would eat entirely too fast. Controlling how much food is in her bowl has taught her to slow down. Tonka really doesn't mind if Veilo is near while he eats, but Veilo prefers him to be out of the kitchen. Notice me touching her while she eats. Again, this is to make sure she doesn't have any food aggression tendencies towards me. Good girl, baby. Good girl. Good girl, mommy. At 8 weeks old, we started teaching Veilo to become accustomed to our hand being in and around her food dish. Placing small amounts of food in your dog's dish while they eat creates a positive association and conditions them to accept you in their space. I also put her food in my hand, place my hand in her bowl, and have her eat out of it. Veilo usually eats 2 pounds in the morning and 1 pound at night. Today is an exception. She's getting all 3 pounds this evening. Let's grab her 1 more pound.
Do you know you have food sitting right there? Why don't you give that?
Won't give her all this. Go ahead, baby. He's like... She's actually slowing down a bit. I forgot I gave her a chicken wing earlier. She might not need all of this. Baby girl. You're good. Dinner wouldn't be complete if she didn't get to lick the bowl. All right, baby girl, let's get you cleaned up. After the dogs have eaten, we immediately place them in their crates. If not, Velox in particular would want to play. Good girl, mommy. And the last thing we want is to risk either of the dogs getting bloat. Last but not least, we'll clean up and sanitize the area with Clorox. Appreciate you watching. See you soon.